Welcome to Theater School Rejects Podcast 71. Totally not 15 minutes later.
The staunchest hope that we haven't burned all our interesting conversation in the interim between recording.
Which might have. But anyway, joined once again with Crash Ryan, at Crash Ryan on Twitter, as my co-host for today. And you can find his writings at CBR and videos up on YouTube. In
the CBR MCU videos.
All right. So on that kind of vein, who is your favorite Spider-Man villain?
My favorite Spider-Man villain.
Yes. We're going for the geek audience here. Come on, comic book fans.
That's a Sophie's choice, man.
Well, pick one of your top three. I'm not gonna know if it's not really your top one.
Right.
You can figure it out later.
Well, Kraven. Like, I actually read Kraven's Last Hunt when it was part of the regular run of the comics.
I did that as well. It's a fantastic run.
That's how I learned the Fearful Symmetry poem. So I was happy.
Is that Tiger Burning Bright?
Yep. That's the.
Is it called Wait, no. You just mean it has a Fearful Symmetry in it.
No, that's the name of the poem.
I thought it was called Tiger.
No.
Interesting.
I had to look that up. I thought the whole series was called Fearful Symmetry, and then I realized it was Kraven's Last Hunt.
Now I learned something too. I've always Blake, the poet. Yeah. I always thought it was just called Tiger or Burning Bright or something. It's called the Fearful Symmetry.
Yeah.
You've learned something, listeners. Listen to this podcast. It may help you pass your English class someday. If you still take classes.
Yeah, I just really like that.
I think it's a great run. It's like Kraven was a total joke, and but I don't like Spider-Man.
Oh.
Like, I fucking hate Spider-Man. But I would read I think Web of Spider-Man, which I could tolerate. Like, there was 6 Spider-Man channels, different comics when I was growing up. They were all Spider-Man.
Right.
And they had different names.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but Web of Spider-Man
to keep track of the continuity of it
had
all.
started just one. Like, when I was at a certain point, I was 15 or so, and I was like, okay, I can catch on from one. And it was written differently enough that I was like, okay.
Yeah. The Web of Spider-Man was full darker stories.
But anyway, so I thought, seeing Kraven be a better Spider-Man than Spider-Man, and seeing Spider-Man get his ass kicked, was just happy. And then
I just like he was doing that inner monologue as he's fighting. He's like, all right, so now he's gonna explain this shit to me. I'm gonna have to go through this crap, and then he just shoots him. He's like, what the hell just happened? No one ever just stopped to shoot me, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with the tranquilizer gun.
Yeah.
It was he was caught off guard.
Yeah.
Well, that was the Sin Eater. You told me it was the Sin Eater. He just fucking shot guns, no powers.
Yep.
And I was like, but we mentioned this before. I think I said Punisher was just guns.
Yeah.
Maybe it was with you, but it was with somebody else.
No, it was with me.
Yeah, and I'm like, that really takes the piss out of all the fucking superheroes, because he's a Marine with guns.
Right.
And okay, then theoretically, if he can fucking tell him a superhero, then any of the fucking dudes that are in the army with guns can fucking hang with Iron Man and shit.
Yeah.
Or Daredevil, at least. Yeah.
The way they try to explain it off is like, oh, he's a special forces guy, and it's like, oh, that means there's a whole team of him who could probably do really, really well.
Still keep him safe, yeah.
Motherfucker dude
Yeah.
can hold himself up against Daredevil.
Then why are they? It was
6 of those guys probably could wreck shop in Hell's Kitchen.
Right. Then what's Daredevil's thing? Because not only are they special trained, they can see.
Yeah.
I was watching my old bit about where I was talking about Marvel and using disability as superpowers.
Yeah.
I was like, Daredevil can't see, that's a power. Puck is a midget, that's a power.
Daredevil, in a way, it's such a... Well, I love Daredevil. But it is just built on that myth that blind people have super other senses.
Yeah. Well, and for some reason, radar.
Yeah. Do you know the Daredevil Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles connection?
No.
Same origin.
Oh yeah, the ooze, right?
The canister that creates the Ninja Turtles is the canister that blinded Matt Murdock. It's basically like what happened to that canister after Matt Murdock got his superpower.
Goes in the sewer.
It goes in the sewer and made Ninja Turtles. And that's why the Ninja Turtles fight the foot, and Daredevil fights the hand.
What I love in the original Ninja Turtles
right.
is that the rat is just a fucking rat. There are these mutant turtles that were hit by but he was just a rat who belonged to a ninja
Right.
and learned the moves from watching him train.
Yeah.
And is somehow super intelligent.
Yeah.
Or I forget, did his intelligence get amplified by the ooze or something?
I don't.
But he
entirely
wasn't.
remember.
But like in the cartoon, he was a guy who was transformed into a rat based
Right.
on that. But in the original comic book,
Just a
he
rat.
was just a rat
Yeah.
who took care of turtles,
Yeah.
and then the turtles got oozed.
Yeah.
He was just a rat the whole time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really address why he was intelligent.
No.
But he became a ninja because he was a rat who somehow watching a human do things imitated him. Which is why your rats can like turn doorknobs.
Yeah, I had that saxophone playing rat.
Oh. I want to make a movie where your rat plays the saxophone. I want the Ryan rat, his pet rat, has learned to play saxophone, and when you're killed by a mafia boss, he takes up busking in your honor
To avenge my death somehow.
and teaches 4 turtles to be stand-up comics. I don't know where I'm
jazz
going
band?
with this. This is. I'm just trying to figure out how we can parallel Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with your life.
Teenage Mutant Jazz Band Turtles.
Well, I guess that would be the thing. You'd have to teach them also, because he was a ninja.
Right.
But if we explore a little further, because you're in the stand-up comedy network, he learns to write, starts pounding out screenplays.
This is sort of a weird Ratatouille screenplay edition.
Well, just
Like a
the
trombone.
rat learning from you.
Right.
The rat that learns.
There's
'Cause-
actually, this is sort of tangential, I guess.
All right.
I took a documentary class in my film school because I thought documentaries were cool. And one of the people that did a documentary did one on sugar gliders.
I don't know what that is.
They're little rodents that have, they're like flying squirrels.
Okay.
So they have a membrane between their legs so they can
Sure, it makes
fly.
sense. Yeah.
And they're nocturnal and they like sweet fruit.
Okay.
So you can't have them as pets in California, but people do, you know, just like ferrets.
Yeah, sure.
And the problem with keeping a sugar glider as a pet is it has a sweet tooth. So it'll eat like candies and sugary stuff, and which will make it too fat to glide. And then it likes actually watching television. The guy did this whole thing, and he was, you know, he did the whole thing. I was like, you didn't tie it back around. This is such a great metaphor for our own existence. Like, we can't bring in sugar gliders because they'll eat fucking junk food and watch TV like us.
Well, well, does it have to be stated? I mean, isn't that clear? They didn't learn to watch TV in the wild.
Right. But I just think it's adorable. Like, it's this high energy, like, flying animal, but it starts hanging out with us and it just eats Snickers and fucking watches daytime
There's like a
television.
fucking Married with Children episode just like that, where Peg gets a trainer,
Right.
and in a couple of days, she ruins him. He's just sitting on the couch watching soaps. Oh, man.
I couldn't.
Well, an animal that can fly, soar through the skies,
Right.
it would rather.
Just fucking sit around and watch Jerry Springer and fucking drink Coca-Cola.
Now, is that a testament to the power of Coca-Cola and junk food?
I think it
Or
is.
is it that, or maybe we've learned something?
Right.
We're not wrong.
Yeah.
This is better than flying.
Yeah, Coca-Cola and Jerry Springer didn't exist. We made that shit.
And apparently, animals,
Right.
it's not just like, oh, it's made for humans. Creatures with no experience of this, they haven't been trained to love this, just randomly get exposed to it,
Yeah.
is better than flying.
Right. Holy fuck, I've been running around trying to fucking get grapes this entire time.
But I mean, you could soar through the air. Like, humans are like, oh man, I wish I could fly. It turns out flying is
Flying
a close
supplies.
second to junk food and shitty
Daytime
TV.
television, yeah.
Who knew?
Right, I think the jury's in, man.
We're all ambitious. What the Wright brothers were doing.
Right.
Fucking no one wants to fly.
Right. That's just a lot of work.
Oh man, if my workers had only knew where to channel their energy. Oh, I like that. That went on a good tangent. And we got there from fucking Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, right.
Spider-Man to flying sugar.
Sugar gliders. It's a little Australian, I think they're Australian. Maybe they're South American. They're not from here. That's why you can't have them here. They'll eat up produce. And they breed like bunnies.
Like I have friends who have ferrets, and I don't understand the fascination. I don't understand anyone fucking.
So, you know, it's for people who want a stinky weasel in their house.
Yeah, pretty much.
Me and this guy say hi to each other every time.
Oh, it's a busker community.
Yeah. He's the king one here. He calls me Saxman.
Saxman!
Yep.
That's my favorite Spider-Man villain.
Oh, there is a Spider-Man villain called Walrus, which I think is hilarious because it's my nickname.
Why? Because of the beard?
I'll tell you the story of the nickname.
Okay.
When I was a music major at Sac State,
Oh, so you lived. And how old were you at this point?
I was 18.
18. Okay. So freshman year at Sac State.
Yeah.
All right.
I was an 18-year-old, so I really wasn't prepared to be in college. I was just not prepared. I just wanted to goof off. I worked in a movie theater. A friend of mine worked in an arcade. I was like, so we were poor but well entertained is our motto.
Right.
And so I was going off and doing all these goofy things, and I kind of needed someone to go with me so I didn't look like a psycho.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
And so I invite this voice major chick. She would go with me, and we would go hang out and do stuff. And she had a fiance who lived on this ranch. I'd never met him, and it was it was a purely platonic like friend thing. We were just having a good time. So we're having lunch one time, and she goes, and I was telling my boyfriend about you, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, he goes, yeah. I told him that there was this guy at college that takes me out to lunch. I was like, what? Wait, what? She goes, yeah. I was like, what? You trying to get me killed? He goes, no, I want him to get him jealous. I was like, yeah, you're trying to get me killed? What's going on? He goes, no, I want him to do those things. I was like, well, he works for a living. I don't. I work in a movie theater. That's barely a job. And she goes, well, he didn't get jealous at all. And I said, well, okay, good. But how'd you describe me? And she said, well, I said he looked kind of like a walrus. And I said, well, there's your problem. I think if my girlfriend came home and said she was hanging out with some dude she thought looked like a giant Arctic sea mammal, I'd just be glad she made a friend. I didn't mean that mean. I was like, is there not a mean? There's a non-mean way to...
What if she's got a walrus fetish? I don't know. Everyone's got a type.
So I used to just put in Walrus as a name to tease her, and then it just caught on. So there's a whole swath of people that only know me as Walrus, depending on when you knew me and where.
Oh.
And then there's a Spider-Man villain who has the proportional strength of a walrus, but since he's smaller, he's not as strong as a walrus. There's an actual, you can look that up, Spider-Man villain.
Tying it together, the walrus.
Yep.
I thought Puma was a pretty cool.
That was good. I almost did Puma, but I didn't.
Because I read that like the first appearance of Puma,
Right.
and he was just a mercenary.
Yeah.
And like, so have you had a chance to read my book, The Crisis, yet?
No.
Really?
The which one?
The Crisis?
No.
Have you read any of my books yet?
No, I was going to ask you if you could gift them to me.
Oh, I can't get. So you don't have access to Kindle Unlimited?
I was going to try. I
Oh,
was looking for the cheaper, easier method.
okay.
I was gonna
Well,
ask you that.
look, if you're not spending money, I'll reimburse you. I'm
Yeah,
not
I'll figure
here.
it
Well, here, no, here.
out. No, I'll figure it out. It's fine. I just haven't got around to asking yet.
Here, this is for book costs.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Because that's sort of separate. But so randomly then, I have attributed some book reads to you
Right.
because we talked on like Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And around Tuesday, some dude plowed through The Crisis,
Oh, okay.
Existential Crisis, the sequel,
Right.
and about halfway through the Ex-Girlfriend Crisis.
Okay.
And I assumed, based on like the timing, that was you.
No.
And I'm like, oh man, he fucking hit the ground running.
No, it will happen in a giant burst like that. It's just the last week I've had a bunch of other shit.
No, but when I didn't ask you,
Right.
but like I was like, man, because like, who else is just randomly reading that book? You know? And I think the same person, though I don't know, because all I know is country.
Right.
All I see is what country and how many pages of a book got read.
Okay.
But like when I see, the sequel get read right after the first book, I'm like, well, that's probably the same person.
Right.
And it's rare that I have two people reading the same book at the same time. I mean, I have like two people reading different books at the same time, but not the same book in the same country.
We periodically have days where like every episode of our podcast will get downloaded on the same day twice. We just figure it's a robot.
Well, probably. I mean, like there was one when I was doing Libsyn. One of our podcasts got down like 400 times. I'm like, we don't have 400 listeners.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No, that's not a thing that happened.
Because we were about like 5 episodes in at that point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, we had like one with like 30. I'm like, okay, I can buy 30. People on Facebook saw it, download it.
Right.
Because my co-host is way more popular than I was. Like people wanted to see what he was producing.
Right.
And that was not unknown to me. Like I brought him in because he's got friends. He's
You
a vast network of friends.
You can see the power of my podcast because I actually linked it to our podcast Facebook page.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it affected your numbers at all.
Well, I don't know. Did you see one podcast on Sunday had 17 views and one had 16 views? That's, assuming we got no repeats, 16 different people listened to us talk about fucking playwriting
Right.
and how much salesmen suck.
Salesmen do kind of suck.
Well, anyway, so like one of the things I addressed in my book, The Crisis, was like the idea of like villains trying to avoid fucking heroes,
Right.
not going after them.
Right.
Like that was like the dumbest thing. You don't see criminals targeting cops.
Yeah.
Hey, let's fucking go break into the police station.
Yeah, I find when I do my criminal activity, finding a really, really distinct and unique costume that makes me stand out so they all know exactly who it was each time is not generally the best idea.
Well, they would do that. My villains would do that because they had costumes, but they would like trying to stay under the radar. But the idea, I think when I first did it, the idea was like they were like B-list villains,
Right.
which is still like I think actually this is great because you'll know what I'm talking about. Like there was a run. Mark Grunwald did a run on Captain America,
Okay.
where Captain America's shield got stolen by Batroc.
Batroc the Leaper.
Yeah, who apparently made a cameo in the Winter Soldier,
Yeah, he got
but
his
like
butt kicked in the
but like deprived of everything that makes him fun. Like he
Yeah.
didn't really talk. I think he had a French accent, but he wasn't like way over the top or anything.
Yeah. He barely did anything leaping.
Yeah, it was a pretty good fight scene. I watched it,
Yeah.
but like unless you knew who Batroc was, you wouldn't have any idea it was fucking Batroc.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a run where Batroc and Zaran and Machete get hired to steal the fucking Captain America shield, and he's got to get it back. And Tony Stark makes him a new shield made out of adamantium instead of vibranium.
Right.
And are you familiar with this run at all?
No.
Okay, well, it's a really good run because he doesn't have his shield, and the vibranium shield is such a fucking bullshit thing.
Right.
Because like even adamantium shield, okay, it can't penetrate it, it's super hard, but it doesn't absorb all force. Like so, if Juggernaut punches it, you can still just stand there,
Well,
which is the concept of like the Captain America shield.
I thought, yeah, it's the. I always thought it was supposed to be a combination, like an alloy between.
It is,
and-
yeah, but effectively, it's
Yeah.
Deus Ex Machina on his arm,
Yeah.
because anyway, shields still get hit. There's still massive momentum.
Yeah.
Oh well, his shield doesn't. That's nice. That's convenient.
They addressed it now in the movies. My only problem with that was like, you can't destroy energy. So where does that energy go when you hit the shield? And it disperses it. Where does that?
It absorbs it.
That's not. Where does the energy go? You can't destroy energy, so it has to.
It sits there in the shield. It comes out as sexual energy.
So he's powering his house with it. And he gets home.
That's how he got the Diamondback. She sat in the shield and she's like, oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I went there. Anyway, so
But it wasn't a record deal, though. It wasn't.
where was it going? Okay, anyway, it's a really good run, and like Batroc, they steal the shield, and they're all good. They got the money, they're paid, and they're fucking drinking. And Batroc is arm wrestling Machete and winning, and he's arm wrestling Zaran and he's winning, and they're fucking drinking, and they go, and he's like, I am the best. He goes, yeah. Bet you can't beat Captain America. He whooped your ass. You can't be the best if he's better. And so, all fucking drunk, he goes and challenges Captain America to a fight. And Captain America realizes he's drunk off his ass, and he's kicking his ass, and he starts to feel bad because he sees Machete and Zarin laughing at him, and they're not helping.
Right.
His buddies, and then that was like the most realistic like villain behavior. Like they were
Right.
acting like guys who got paid a lot of money to do something stupid or do something criminal, right? Like what would they do? They would drink, they would compete with each other, and goad one of their friends into doing something fucking stupid,
Yeah.
and then laugh at him. I mean, that felt real.
It did. That's still real.
And then Captain America's feeling bad for him, and so he comes up, he says to Zarin, to Batroc, he's like, if you tell me who bought my shield or where it is, I'll give you one free shot. And he's like, one free shot. So he stands there, and fucking Batroc like backs up and does this running kick and like knocks him through a wall. He's like, I'm the best. And then Captain America gets up. He's like, fuck. And he beats Batroc up. But now he knows where to fucking go looking for his shield.
Right.
And that kicks off like this quest. And I mean, there's other stuff happened, but like, there was a Serpent Society in Diamondback, and he starts dating Diamondback. It was a really good run of Captain America. Like, no other writer ever interested me in that, and when another writer took over, I completely lost interest. But there was a run where it was really good. Like,
I think Captain America is one of those characters that can be really interesting or super dull, and there's really no in between.
well, like he became a comic book artist for a while, so it was
Yeah.
meta,
Remember that?
and like I think at some points I was like, you got no understanding of the character. So that was kind of fun. But I'm just saying, like, anyway, I loved Batroc.
Right.
Like, he's a mercenary, he gets paid, he has fun. Like,
Yeah.
like I could understand that level of villain.
Yeah.
And I thought that's a fun level of villain to write, because, well, like, you know, kind of like D&D, kind of at the point, like, everyone's all like, oh, my character has all 18s. And I was never interested in, like, that. I was interested in sort of, like, what's the guy who has, like, a 16 strength, you know?
Right.
And, like, a 12 intelligence. You know, he's better than everybody else, but he's not, like, a mythological character. He's not superhuman.
Well, I mean, when it gets down to it, D&D isn't fun until you fail a roll.
Yeah.
Because then like, okay, now I gotta figure, you gotta work with that at that point. And that becomes fun. Like, if you put it on easy and you just beat up everybody, I just played a video game really slowly. Like, D&D really isn't fun until you fail a roll, you fuck some shit up, or,
But then you have stakes.
yeah.
All right. Wow. Okay, another long podcast. And words of wisdom from @CrashRyan. D&D isn't fun until you fail a roll.
Yeah.
For me, I would almost play diceless D&D.
Yeah.
Did you ever see you never read the Amber series, right? You didn't read that. But there was a
Amber video game, or Amber role-playing game.
yeah,
right?
and that was a diceless role-playing
Yeah.
game. And I never played it, but like it talked about how you could conduct a diceless role-playing game.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I ran some vampire games,
Yeah.
and there would be dice rolling, but I took a lot of dice rolling out of it because I was
Yeah.
like, if you're really good at something, and you find a way to incorporate that against someone who's not good at it, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's gonna work.
Yeah.
And I would make people try and like role play their things. Like, don't roll a die to manipulate somebody.
Yeah.
Use dialogue. Tell me you're doing it. Like, granted, like I said, I'll give you wiggle room. If you're
Yeah.
not good at like doing poetry, your characters do poetry. I'm not judging you for the quality of poetry. I just want you to role play it.
Yeah.
All right. On that, we got nowhere about what I want to talk about at all. But that's episode 71. So deal with it. DuckXComedy.com @CrashRyan.